information and education as far as everything is concerned. And the organization is none other than WA. Let's welcome WA Cameroon, and we are going to be welcoming the Southwest Regional Coordinator, none other than Mr. Chris. Good evening, Mr. Chris.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you here.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Okay, we also have, he has been accompanied by his crew members, and we have at my left here, I have Theodore, one of the volunteers. Good evening to you. Okay, and at my right here, I also have one of the volunteers. Good evening.
Good evening.
You are all welcome, and I trust it's going to be a beautiful one with you.
Yes.
Okay, dear viewers, I know your ears are like itching. You're like, okay, I want to get what these people have for us today. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Trust me, you're going to be highly educated and highly informed this evening. Let's take on this jingle break. When we come back, we should straight. I know some of you are like, okay, what is WA Cameroon about? In fact, you have a lot of questions, and your questions and your worries, they will be solved here. Yes, of course, you have the number on your screen. You can use it to send us a text message as far as your worries or your problems are concerned. We are going to make sure we try to answer all your questions, solve all your problems. Let's take on this jingle break. When we come back, we shoot straight into WA Cameroon in details. Yes, you are welcome back, and it's time for us to talk about WA Cameroon in details. Now, let's shoot straight to the Southwest Regional Coordinator, none other than Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, what is WA Cameroon? I've been asking myself, what is WA Cameroon? And I'm sure our viewers out there also like, what is WA Cameroon? What is WA Cameroon all about?
All right. Thank you for the question. WA Cameroon, generally in the civic society space, has become a household name. So most people only know it for WA Cameroon, but there is a lot more to it. WA Cameroon stands for Women in Alternative Action. It is a non-governmental, not-for-profit organization that was created back in 2001 by late Madame Justine Kumche, of blessed memory, and her husband Mr. Peter Kumche, who is the interim executive director of WA Cameroon. So WA Cameroon is a non-governmental organization, like we already established. It's located in Yaoundé, and they have regional branches in the northwest and the southwest region of Cameroon. WA is one of the leading NGOs in Cameroon in effective human rights protection and promotion. WA Cameroon has 5 policy areas where they focus on. One is research and documentation. WA Cameroon also partakes in social science research, and they also document and publish articles online and offline, and they work with partners. WA Cameroon engages also in gender justice, where they train women and they empower them, and sometimes or most of the times they also work with law enforcement to ensure that women's rights and women get the justice that they need. WA Cameroon also engages in peace building, like you can see here in the studio, we have some of the volunteers who are participants of the last peace building training of WA Cameroon. And WA Cameroon also does youth empowerment for the next generation. WA doesn't only train young people, but WA understands that knowledge without capacity is almost useless. So WA Cameroon also does not only train young people, but also do youth empowerment. Almost always after every training, young people, WA asks them to write projects, and when young people do so, WA selects and gives them some funding. These projects go a long way to empower the young people, so that they can use the knowledge that they have together with the resources that they have been given, and then they can be able to be peaceful in the society. Last but not the least, WA Cameroon does law and policy reform. Yes, WA Cameroon is an arm of the civil society that also examines existing laws in Cameroon, and sometimes they even suggest laws into the parliament. So WA Cameroon, like I've mentioned, It's one of Cameroon's leading NGOs in Cameroon, and they have been doing a lot. Just from these 5 policy areas, you can see that WA Cameroon almost touches almost all the spheres of civil society.
Okay, I have this question. Since it's WA Cameroon, I don't know. Do you have limitations on the areas you touch?
Of course. WA Cameroon, we have 5 policy areas, like I just mentioned: research and documentation, peace building. We have law and policy reform, youth empowerment, and we also have gender justice. These are our key expert areas, and all our projects and activities, they revolve around these 5 policy areas.
All
Exactly.
around Cameroon.
Yes, we implement projects all around Cameroon, just depending on where there's a particular project is being implemented. Like for example, the voice project we have now is being implemented in the northwest and the southwest region. Sometimes it's in Yaoundé, sometimes it's in the north. So projects just depend on the location and other factors.
Okay, I earlier heard you making mention of the voice project. So I'm like, okay, what is the voice project all about?
All right, so thank you. The voice project, that is the acronym. The full meaning of voice stands for Voices of Youth in Cameroon for Peace. So that is a 36 months project that is funded by the European Union, and that is a project that WA Cameroon has been implementing since 2021. So 36 months, that's about 3 years. So WA Cameroon has been implementing the project since 2021. WA is doing it alongside GPAC, that is the Global Partnership for Prevention of Armed Conflict and Trauma Center in Yaoundé. So the main idea of this project is simply the key focus of this project is simply to do what? To prevent radicalization of young people into conflicts, and those who are already out from getting re-radicalized. That is the raison d'etre of this project. Since Cameroon finds itself in a precarious situation, it is easy for young people to get radicalized into conflicts very easily, and it's even easy from those who have come out of conflict to go back due to many factors. So the project of Voices of Youth in Cameroon for Peace is specifically trying to prevent the radicalization of young people, and then to also prevent the re-radicalization of those who have already left conflict areas from falling back into conflicts or being victims of the conflict. So that is a recap of what the Voice project is all about.
Okay, so it's a beautiful one. How far has the implementation gone?
All right, so I think we're in the second year of project implementation since we started back in 2021, and this project has a lot of has some key activities. One of the activities is media advocacy, like we are already doing. Another activity is peace building training, like I earlier told you. Volunteers here present today are participants of peace building training that was organized by WA Cameroon. Since this project has been implemented since 2021, WA Cameroon has trained, effective training, more than 500 young people in the northwest and the southwest region of Cameroon, respectively. And these young people, they have also reached out to their peers. They have done community outreach, and they have been able to also spread the knowledge that they have gained. WA Cameroon has also organized intergenerational dialogues. That is where young people come together with adults, parents, and members of the society who cut across all walks of life, so that they can discuss on best practices when it comes to peace building and conflict resolution. So WA has been implementing this project alongside Trauma Center, like I mentioned, and GPAC. And so far, we have had a lot of results, because we are not only working with young people, maybe at a lot of communities, but we are also extending out to schools. Yes, I think earlier this week, we have gone to more than 4 schools just within here in the southwest, because currently we are doing an awareness campaign raising week, where WA Cameroon is trying to intensify the awareness among young people that they have a potential when it comes to peace building. Yes, so while we have been going to schools, that's secondary schools, we precise, visiting mostly adult students, but generally targeting everybody. We have been doing awareness campaigns on television stations and radio stations We're even working with newspapers. So why is leaving no stone unturned when it comes to effective implementation of the projects which aims at amplifying the voice of youth in Cameroon for peace?
Okay, that's a beautiful one, and I think we have heard a lot from the coordinator, from the regional coordinator, and I think it's time for us to give the opportunity to our volunteers here to also talk. Yes, I'm sure they have something to tell us, and on my right here I have Pilaji. I've been getting peace, 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 peace. I don't know. As a volunteer, what do you think? What is peace?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. When we talk of peace, peace means freedom from disturbance. It's a state of harmony where there is absence of war, conflict, or violence. We need to understand that there are two types of peace. That is positive peace or negative peace. I would like to start with the negative peace. Negative peace means, when we talk about negative peace, it means there is absence of war or physical violence, absence of conflict. When we talk about positive peace, we mean addressing the conflict from the root cause. Yeah, and we also need to understand that this peace exists in different levels. Like there are many levels involved. Interpersonal peace, state peace, we have national peace and global peace. Not everybody is involved in this peacemaking decision. We have the individuals, communities, government, international organizations, NGOs also involved in peacemaking decision. So peace call for general concern. It's a general concern of everybody that it needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Okay, that's a beautiful one. And now I've gotten peace. Yeah, it's a general concern. I think Theodore, it's time for you to also tell us something. So, what are the challenges young people face today in engaging into peace activism?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Looking at some of the challenges that young persons face in addressing or getting engaged in peace process in Cameroon, first, I would like to start with the lack of information. Lack of information is one of the factors that young people face in engaging themselves into peace processes. For example, many youths out there are not informed about important peace projects like this. So there is a call for concern for the information to be passed on so they can have this information and actively take part. Another factor I would like to highlight as well is the lack of funds. Maybe you might hear of a peace project which is being implemented in Yaoundé and you do not have the means to attend because it's in Yaoundé and you're based in Buea. That's also another factor that we can also look at. Another factor again is the lack of education on conflict resolution and peace building. Many youths out there lack this education. This educational pattern is not implemented in our school environment. It's only when organizations like WOW Cameroon do their best to reach out to maybe youths in their schools, in their universities or their secondary schools, that's when these young people get hold of this knowledge. But if maybe it was implemented or incorporated into our school curriculum, maybe they would have had a lot of knowledge about peace building and conflict resolution. So those are some of the factors that some of the factors that drive young people away from engaging themselves into different peace processes, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have spoken a lot. I think it's time for us to go catch our breath. Of course, when we catch our breath, we come back and I promise you that it's going to be an interesting one, right? So it's just starting. We still have a lot of stuff to unveil for you today. So you can't afford to miss. Don't move a muscle. So let's take on this musical break. When we come back, we continue with WOW Cameroon.
Oh, you man, I go chop your dollar. I go take your money disappear. 419 is just a game. You are the loser, I am the winner. The refinery, now me get down. The contract, now you I go give am. But you go pay me some more money, make I bring up. You be the mugu, I be the master. Now me be the master. Oh. When Oyibo play wayo, they go say na new style. When countryman do it, oh, then go they shout, bring 'em, kill 'em, die. But Oyibo people greedy, them greedy. I say them greedy, them greedy. I don't see them tire. That's why when they fall enter my trap, oh, I they show them fire. National airports, let me get them. National stadium, let me build them. President, na my sister, brother. You be the mugu, I be the master. Oyibo man, I go chop your dollar. I go take your money, disappear. 419 is just a game. You are the loser, I am the winner. The refinery, now me get them. The contract, now you I go give them. But you go pay me some more money, make I bring them. You be the mugu, I be the master. Now me be the master. Oh. I don't suffer no upon say I get sense. Poverty no good at all. Oh. Now him make I join this business. 419 no be thief. It's just a game. Everybody dey play am. If anybody follow me, ah, my brother, I go chop am. National airports, let me get am. National stadium, let me build them. President, na my sister, brother. You be the mugu, I be the master. Oyibo man, I go chop your dollar. I go take your money, disappear. 419 is just a game. You are the loser, I am the winner. The refinery, na me get them. The contract, now you I go give up. But you go pay me some more money, make I bring up.
Welcome back, and we are still beaming live in the studio. It is and it keeps on being voices of the youth in Cameroon for peace. I mean, it's an interesting one when you get to hear voices of youths in Cameroon for peace. And I love when it has to do with youth. You know, youth, let me say, they are the future leaders of tomorrow. And when we say future leaders of tomorrow, they are the ones who are going to lead this country tomorrow. So we have been joined by another volunteer, Antoinette, here on my right. Let's welcome her. Good evening to you, Antoinette.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you.
My pleasure too.
Okay, Antoinette, let's have your own contribution. I know we have been talking about peace. Theodore has spoken. Your regional coordinator too has spoken. I think I have something to get from you. And so the question is, how can young people contribute to peace and development?
Thank you. How can young people contribute to peace and peace building? We have one, through online. We can see now that people do business online and it's successful. People do so many things. So I believe that youth can. So I believe through online we can talk, we can spread this peace out. We also have youth can contribute by participating in decision making. When we pour out our voices, when we tell the people about peace, that is in governmental organization, when youths are there and they make decisions, it encourages others. When they see their fellow youths talking on their behalf about peace, it encourages them to stop certain things. You can't talk about peace without having the skills. So you need to have the skills. You need to attend workshops like the one where Cameroon used to provides. So I encourage the youth to attend it so that they can get more skills to be able to teach the others out there. They can also contribute to peace by, for a youth to contribute, that youth must have how can I put it? You must be able to know how to attend to people. You must be able to know how to face people and to look at their root causes of the things they are going through. That is the root causes of the conflict before you can attain peace. You can't attain peace without looking at the root causes. You can't attain peace without looking at the grievances of the people. So when you look at the root causes, you process it and you see what solution can come out of it. So for me, those are the points I think youth can use.
I just want a quick one that you should get back to the ways they can contribute. I think it will help a lot. You know, we are now in the youthful generation, and most people want to get educated, get informed as far as these issues are concerned. We are not going to turn a blind eye on the fact that things keeps on getting worse and worse every day. You understand, in countries we have conflicts, in our environments we have conflicts. So as youths, since they said we are the leaders of tomorrow, I think you have to get back. Let me say a quick one on the points again so that some people can get it.
Okay, like I said, we can contribute to peace through internet, through online, not just doing business, WhatsApping, doing videos. There are so many people out there with skills. Just go online, talk about what you know about peace. There are so many people out there willing to listen and change. They might not come outside because some people are, how can I put it, shy. Some people out there listen and they change instantly. So I believe through online we can contribute to peace and peace building. We also have participating in decision making. Youths should participate in decision making. They should let their voice out and not keep silence. In those ways, other people out there can be encouraged to change. They can be encouraged to join them to fight for peace. There are so many workshops that are being organized. We have the one the Synod Office organized, WA Cameroon, and other non-organizations they organize education about peace and how they can approach people. So you should attend these workshops, get the skills, and be able to preach peace and bring peace to our country and to the world. We have also tolerance and looking at the root causes of a conflict. You cannot just go to resolve a conflict without looking what is the main problem. Before the main problem, we have other causes. We have other causes. It might be discrimination. Look at those problems, target them. Look for certain solutions, then bring out. You know, normally in conflict resolution, we don't force people. They do it with their own way. So it depends on your approach, on how people in conflict will accept you. So you have to approach them in a positive way. So I just encourage our youth there today to participate in peace and peace building to help our country and the world.
Okay, thank you very much. And it is Voices of Youth in Cameroon for Peace. Just imagine us, the youths, standing up for peace. Imagine you, let me say, you rather use your spare time that you spend on social media to do some sort of nonsense, to do something important. You know, advocating for peace is very important. When an environment, let me say, as a country, if our country is not peaceful, you out there, you cannot be in peace. Trust me, even if you're not in that particular environment that the issues are happening, you one way or the other be affected by the crisis or by whatsoever stuff are happening out there. So you have to make sure you be an advocate for peace. And this is the message WA Cameroon is trying to pass over to us today, and they're trying to pass across this particular message. I think some of you have used your, let me say, your pen and paper to jot it down, and this is a time for us to take on a jingle break. And when we come back, we continue with this. And they have a lot. Yes, don't move a muscle. They still have a lot to tell you. You have a lot to learn as far as youth, the voices of youth for peace is concerned. You know, peace and development is very important. When there is peace, there is development, and when there is war, there is no development. So if we are advocating for development, we should advocate for peace also. Let's take on this jingle break. When we come back, we actually continue with the program, and that is when it's going to be leading us to the end of today's edition. Voices of the youth in Cameroon for peace. Voices of the youth. I mean, I am so excited when I get to hear such things. You understand? Youth, we need to stand up to put peace, to bring development in our nation, to bring development in our environments and communities. Why not? You can be the one who bring the change in your community. You can be the one to create that change you've been longing for, that change you've been wanting, that change you've been crying for, the change you've been praying for. You can still think there is need for peace. You can be the one to bring that peace. And of course, when there is peace, there is development. Let's get back to the Southwest Regional Coordinator, Mr. Chris. I think I have something. What recommendations do you have for the government as far as the youth development for peace is concerned? What recommendations do you have?
Okay, first so far as peace building and even youth volunteerism is concerned, the government is actually doing a lot. If for anybody who cares to know, yes, so it's important and first of all acknowledge that there's a lot going on ground that they have been doing. But again, want to plead with the government that there is still more they can do to be able to get these young people engaged. Somebody says, research shows that the population structure of Cameroon has more than 45% young people. So that is a huge base that can be put into good use. So the government has a big role that they can play to further strengthen the role of young people. So firstly, I would like to plead with the government that they should make available more funds and resources to support youth initiatives that are directed towards peace building. It is true that the government already makes resources available. When you go to MINJEC, as a Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, there are always funds that are allocated to support projects for young people. So those who don't know, you should know today that the government makes funds available at MINJEC office, that is periodically, to fund projects by young people. But again, these funds are not enough, so they are not available all year round. Sometimes you go to tell the money is finished, sometimes you tell them wait till this month and all of that. So while the government is already doing something, they can make, or they should allocate more resources towards or to MINJEC in particular, because that is the mother organization of young people. Another way in which the government can also encourage that is youth efforts in peace building is by opening up more spaces for young people to occupy and participate in peace building. For example, I've been fortunate to be a member of parliament for my subdivision for last year, and that is a very good opportunity that exposes young people to stakeholders in Cameroon. When you go to Yaoundé, to the parliament, you meet your senior parliamentarians, you meet decision makers, you meet lawmakers. So that is an opportunity, but it's only reserved to 180 youths every year. So if the government can create more opportunities and avenues and spaces where young people can be able to take these roles, they'll be able to meet people, lawmakers that are going to influence them, and even going to build their capacities. And the last recommendation I would like to make to the government, insofar as encouraging the role of young people in peace building is the government should, but we are appealing particularly to the Minister of Secondary Education. They should add more efforts in implementing peace education as in the standard school curriculum. This is an aspect that World Cameroon has been advocating for since. World Cameroon, maybe since 2021, has been advocating for this particular reality where young people will not only hear about peace during workshops or during seminars, but we want to have a Cameroon such a way that where peace building is a subject, just like history, just like economics, just like French and maths. So why not have peace? Why not our children begin to learn peace right at the secondary school, at the primary school level?
Okay,
So,
permit me to continue. Like as a subject,
Exactly.
should it be like a compulsory subject, like the way I think English and French is compulsory from
Exactly.
let me say from primary school to the university levels.
Exactly. Why not? Why not? Like somebody rightly said, peace is the foundation. Like you rightly said, peace is the foundation for everything in the society. A society that is not peaceful, nothing works. So if we observe the climate of Cameroon of recent, we will discover that there has been a lot of violence, particularly in the school environment. Young students fighting each other, students fighting teachers, students fighting even outsiders. So this is showing a gap, a lack of peace knowledge among young people. So this is a recommendation that we are bringing towards the government. We already advanced, like we said, one of Cameroon's key areas is law and policy reform. So we already approached the Ministry of Secondary Education, and we are already working together with some parliamentarians who can lobby for this law to be passed. You know, law and policy reform takes time, so it's going to take time for it to go through the ranks of the government. But we are here and we are advocating that the government should take it more seriously, because research also shows that about 20% of the lifetime of young people is spent in classrooms within the school environment. Young people spend about 20% of their lifetime either in class or in school or thereabouts. So it is important that this period of time in their life, they should be able to be exposed to peace and knowledge about peace. There is even a saying that the best time to change the direction of a tree is when the tree is still small. Once the tree is small, if you want it to look left, you can turn it left. If you want it to look right, you can turn it right. If you want it to face up, you can turn it up. But once the tree is grown, it has branches and stems, there's nothing you can do about it again. So if you want the young people of Cameroon to implement their capacity, to strengthen the roles they play in peace building, to improve their capacity, their knowledge, we should start it while they are still young. We should start it from the primary school to secondary to university levels. So when they are being invited to seminars, they are not getting about peace for the first time. They are not asking how do we even go about it. When conflict comes, young people will not be easily radicalized or re-radicalized into conflict. So those are some of the few suggestions that I wish to present to the Cameroon government on how they can be able to encourage we the young people to push further the agenda of peace in Cameroon.
Okay, so we pray your recommendations ahead. Yes, of course, these are the recommendations that, if taken into considerations, is going to better let me say the development for peace and whatsoever stuff. Because you know, when there is peace, there is development. I always say that peace is the foundation of everything. And of course, we have heard recommendations, we have heard what Cameroon is all about. I think there is something, we are talking about the youth. We are talking about youth. So there is something we know, in as much as we are asking the government to do something, we also need to speak to those particular youths, because not all of them are on track. Not all of them know what to do I don't know, in what people can use, like Antoinette earlier said, people can use internet to pass across the peace message. But we have youths of nowadays, they rather prefer to post some certain things rather than trying to pass across peace message and the rest. So what do you people have? Let me start by Theodore here. As a volunteer, you are a youth. And let me start first by this particular question. How long have you been in World Cameroon?
I've been volunteering for World Cameroon for about a year now.
Okay, so how has the experience been?
Well, it has been a very great experience. I have learned a lot from the organization, and my meeting with the organization is actually where my journey for advocating for peace started. So I'm very grateful to World Cameroon and the project that they brought to the Southwest region.
Okay, so how do you feel advocating for peace and development? How do you feel?
Well,
Peace development.
It feels great. That's what I can say. It's a very good feeling to know that you are advocating for something good. Like you said, once there is peace, there is development. So in the process, I'm also advocating for development.
Okay, so now, from your own experience, what is this advice you have for the youths out there?
Okay, for the advice I have for the youth out there, peace is not a myth, it's a reality. Peace can be attained, we can live in peace. Okay, now the issue is not between you and I, it's just a different perceptions that we have. You have a different opinion from mine, that's why we are in conflict. If we can understand ourselves, we can live in peace.
Okay.
So that is the little message I want to send out to the young people out there. We can live in peace. It's very possible. You just need to understand one another and see how we can live together.
Okay, so we just need to understand one another and see how we can live together. And this is what the Frenchman will say, le savoir vivre ensemble. You know, le savoir vivre is something that is very important. Once as you know how to understand each other, living with people will be very, very easy. Trust me, even the most troublesome person on this earth will become somebody that you feel like the trouble is no more that high shakarana. You feel like the trouble is something you can easily deal with. But trust me, if you don't know how to live with people, it will be very difficult for you to know how to let go some certain things. And this is why you will see people's perception turn to bring troubles, conflicts, and the rest. So we have heard from Theodore. Let's go to Pelagie. Pelagie, I want you to hear your own experience first. How long have you been with World Cameroon, and how has it been?
Thank you so much for that question. I've been with World Cameroon for almost a year now, and it has been a wonderful experience. Like you said, my advocate for peace. I've been volunteering into different organizations for peace building, but with this, since peace is the main priority here, like it has really changed me a lot. My advice for youth is that you first of all need to have peace with yourself. That is interpersonal peace. You cannot do something, you cannot say something if you can't do it. Okay, they should first of all have peace in them. Peace should be something innate in them. Yeah, because they say anything you want to do, you cannot just get up one day and do it global. You need to start local and go global. So that's all. I believe if they start this way, by building peace to their own self, prioritizing peace over anything, it will gradually, slowly but surely.
Okay, like the way they say, slowly but surely is going to yield fruits or whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
okay. So that was a beautiful advice from Pelagie here, and we are not going to go without getting the advice from the regional, the Southwest Regional Coordinator himself, Mr. Chris here. I think he's an upper hand. So a word of advice from him is going to be a wonderful one. Let's also start, Mr. Chris, please. How long have you been in this work of peace building?
All right. Thank you very much. I've been into peace building and civil society activism generally for I think about 4 years, even before I joined World Cameroon. So before I joined World Cameroon, I've been into civil society space for quite some time now. But I've been in World Cameroon for about 2 years now. So I just have a very brief advice for my fellow young people. As you can see, those of us in the studio today, we are not 50 years or 60 years. So peace should not look outdated. That's the advice I'm trying to give to them. Because sometimes they like to stereotype some activities that maybe they're best suited to old people or elderly people who don't want to enjoy life. All of us in the studio, we are young and we are youthful. So I want to advise my fellow young people that they should see peace building activities, civil society activities, volunteerism activities as part of their career building journey, because it doesn't only increase their capacity, but it links them with, it increases their network. And you know, this saying that your network is your net worth. You understand? So that is the advice I'm trying to give to young people. They should change the perception that they have towards peace building. Sometimes when you meet a fellow young person and you're trying to like talk to them, they'll be behaving as if you're 50 years, as if you're not also young. Yeah, they'll be trying to behave as if there is something they know that you don't know, or as if they are living the kind of life that you're not also living. All of us we are young people. But if we come here today and we're telling you about peace, it is because it's important. It's not as if we don't also have what something to do with our time, or we don't have, or we know how to enjoy life. Basically, we do, and maybe even more than them. It's just because we have realized and we are focusing on the important things of life. So I'm advising my fellow young people out there, make your life useful. And while we are doing our advocacy campaign, I was telling our young people that just in the secondary schools we have been to since this week started, that the easiest way you can get to where you're going to is by volunteering, and the fastest way you can do that is by being peaceful, right? Like she earlier mentioned, peace begins with you. When they say, for instance, young people coming for peace, we are not saying that you can start at my 17 and be saying that stop war, stop this and stop that. We are simply saying that be peaceful with yourself. That's what we are saying, basically. In your family, there should be peace. There is no point for confrontation, and even when confrontation comes, there are steps, there are strategies that you can use to always help yourself, because there is no point in conflicts. There are many outcomes of conflict, but the worst point, or the most common point, is always a lose-lose, right? Conflict always brings about lose-lose scenarios. So that is the advice I have for young people. Take peace building activities seriously, and it's going to eventually pay off.
Okay, so we are gradually joined to the curtains of today's edition, and it was a wonderful one with them here in the studio. Let's get one last word from them. I think they have one last word to give to our viewers out there. To you, Pelagie, what is that one last word you have for our viewers out there?
Thank you so much. Okay, what I have to say is that we need to understand that peace is a call for consent for everybody. Because when we talk about peace, some people might think that it's a particular fee. It's for people that are studying international relations and conflict resolution and things like that. No, we need to understand that peace is a necessity. It's something that we must learn to live with, that we must embrace it. And it must start from you, it must start from your home, start from your family, before it becomes global. Thank you.
Okay, so to Theodore, what is that one last word you have for our viewers out there?
Okay. That one last word I would like to make mention of before I leave the studio is, like Pelagie rightly said, peace is something that we all need, and it's not for a particular people. It has to involve everyone. We all are here to build. Let some other people not destroy. Let's all join our hands and build together. That's what I have to say.
Okay, let's all join our hands and build together. That's the last words from Theodore. And of course, we are going to get the last words from the coordinator, the regional coordinator himself, the Southwest regional coordinator. What is that last word, that one last word you have for our viewers out there, those watching us?
Alright, so the last word I have for our viewers out there is be intentional. Be intentional about your life, about your development. We are living in a digital age, like somebody rightly mentioned, contributing to peace building by being active online. So if there is one theme in this present age, it is the internet. So I'm encouraging young people, since they are glued to their phones, they should bring the better part out of it. There are a lot of maybe you can follow United Nations. There are a lot of organizations online. There are a lot of hashtags online that are preaching peace, right? So my last word to young people is that they should be intentional about their life and about peace building, about national development.
Okay, so you should be intentional, and it is Voices of the Youth in Cameroon for Peace. Imagine voices of the youth. Imagine us, the youth, standing up for peace. What is going to be a better nation for all of us? Yeah, a better nation for our future kids, a better nation for our generation, our future generation, our great grandchildren. I mean, if you're living in this kind of environment, in a tense environment, you won't like your children to live in that kind of a tense environment, or let's say even your grandchildren. So if we don't stand for peace now, it might definitely get to the point where it's going to affect our grandchildren, our great grandchildren even. So we have to stand now as youth. We have to stand, advocate for peace development, so that development can also follow us and our kids should enjoy a better life. You know, I always tend to say, what my parents didn't give to me, I will make sure I give it to my kids. So this is something very important. You have to always make sure you give a better future to your kids. I mean, you can become the next person that is going to give the next Nelson Mandela, and the next is really, really important. You stand as a youth. That is what WA Cameroon had for us today, and this is the time we are packing our bags to get out of the studio, because our studio time is kicking and our clock is like, okay, it's time for you to pack our bags. And it was a beautiful one. Thank you very much all to you, dear viewers, for watching us. Thank you very much to WA Cameroon. I think personally to the Southwest Regional Coordinator, Mr. Chris, and to Theodore here, thank you very much. To Pelagie, thank you, and to Antoinette, thank you, and in fact to the entire WA Cameroon crew that was here today. We say thank you. I say thank you very much, because you made the show an interesting one, and we hope to meet you, or to be seeing you, let me say 1 or 2 times here on the show again, to grace our show and to keep our viewers, our dear viewers out there, highly educated and highly informed as far as peace is concerned. And of course, it's Voices of the Youth in Cameroon for Peace. It was a beautiful one. So for this occasion, I'm going to thank the lady behind the 1000 manipulation of buttons, giving us the right image at the right time. You understand? She's a human power lady, none other than Tamfu Clothing. Thank you very much. And to our beautiful editor-in-chief, Princess Alice Likia, thank you for making sure we always sit comfortable, we look good, we look, I don't know, tantalizing on air. Thank you very much. And to our mentor, our general manager, Mr. Enoch Humphrey, thank you very much for your general supervision. It was a beautiful time with you. Do not forget to catch another rendezvous with us on Friday. Remember, Business Talk Show goes on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Come, let's have 1 hour of maximum discussion as far as the world of development, entertainment, business, and everything is concerned. We are here for you. We are here because you're there. I remain your girl, Aisha Beng. For now, from WA crew and I is a bye-bye.